Divine message received on November 15, 1859. With the completion of this sacred staff, I will end your farming career. Please understand, when you are out farming, the person at the home has to go out and call you whenever someone comes to give a request. And after you relay the request, you have to go back out again. You have to keep going in and out of the field. This gives you little time for farming. And the worshiper must also wait for you. Both you and the worshiper are being inconvenienced. Won't you stop farming? When you were gravely ill at 42, the doctor gave up hope. Everyone worried about you. You prayed to the kamis and Buddhas and were blessed with complete recovery. Regard this event as your death. Dispel all desire and assist Tenchi Kanenokami. Also, your wife should consider herself as a widow. This is better than being a real widow, as she can still talk to you and discuss matters. She should take the children with her to do the farm work. There are many people like yourself who have sincere faith in kamis but still have many problems. Help these people by performing mediation. This will help kami and save people. People exist because of kami, and kami exists because of people. As kami support people as kami's children, and people support kami as their parents, there will be eternal prosperity through Aiyokakyo mutual interdependency. Good morning, everyone. I feel grateful that we could gather here to hold the grand service for our founder, Ikigami Konko Daiji. And thank you for attending. Some could attend in person. Thank you for wearing masks and keeping social distance. And some are actually attending through the online by YouTube that Coach Sensei kindly set up for us. So thank you for attending. Maybe some of you already know, but my father became 90 years old, and he would like to step down from the head minister. So although I'm not qualified, and my faith level is not that high, and I have a lot to learn, I humbly took over the head minister of this church. First, I'd like to thank my father for working hard as a head minister such a long time. So thank you, Reverend Tetsuo Yasutake, for being the head minister for a long time. And thank you for your support and prayers. I will strive to deepen my faith, practicing faith together with you, so that all of us can be one step closer to founder's faith and keep receiving the divine blessings. However, one thing I'd like to clarify that, my father is not retiring from being a minister. So he's going to be here, work as a minister. So functionally speaking, not many things will change. So I just want to let you know that. It's not that I'm going to be above him, he's going to be below me. He's the spiritual leader of this church. And also probably you have seen the news in the latest Maramarama that the Hif's Konko Sama, the Reverend Heiki Konko, has retired from Konko spiritual leader. and his son, Reverend Hiromichi Konko, was inaugurated as the sixth Konko spiritual leader in March. You know, when I decided to take over the head minister of this church, it's not that, you know, I never had like indecisive feeling or, hesitation, never had a hesitation. It's not that. I thought about, am I qualified? Is my faith level good enough to be, head minister? Can I actually help people through my prayer and mediation? I have those kind of feelings. And also, more like a uh, self-centered feeling, like, oh, what about, my financial matters? What about my health insurance, retirement plan? Well, what will my wife is gonna think? So to be, local small church, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, insult the, Waipahu church, but Waipahu church is a wonderful church. But I don't mean to insult, but that just to be a head minister of this local small church, I had many feelings, many thoughts, and indecisiveness. So I kind of wonder, wow, how Reverend Hiromichi Konko, was when he decided to take over the spiritual leader, entire Konko. So I kind of imagine that he must have a, strong, firm resolve, to be a spiritual leader. Then I thought about, how about Konko-sama, our founder, Ikigami Konko Daiji, when he received the divine message on, 1959. It was just, I just recited the divine, we call it the divine call. So how he took it, he did it, accept without any hesitation. Can be asked to give up farming. But give up farming at the time means to die. He has a wife and small children. He has to have some kind of income to support family. And he also had an important role in the village and personal connections and ties that he cannot ignore completely. So he must have some kind of thinking, but he accepted the divine call. If I were him, probably I would think, oh, what about my income? How about my retirement? I would kind of think so. How about my wife's going to complain about this? Probably I wouldn't say yes. I quit farming and focus on being a mediator, political mediator. So probably I wouldn't say that, but Konko-sama accepted. I would like to say, oh, thank you, Konko-sama, accepting the divine call. If he did say no, what's going to happen? There will be no Konko Kyo. We never have a gathering like this today. So today we held the grand service for our founder, Ikigami Konko Daiji, thanking for accepting the divine call in 1859 and being an eternal mediator, eternal political mediator. So in my personal preparation for this grand service, I started to read two books. I read in long time ago, but I haven't read in recently, so I started to read again. And one is Ikigami Konko Daijin Oboe. Oboe is like a memoir written by the founder based on the request from Kami-sama. Kami-sama said, oh, write about your life, write about the message you received. Kami-sama ordered to write a founder. I think it is one of the uniqueness of Konko-kyo that there is a memoir about the founder's life written by the founder himself. And also, I started to read the other book called the life of Ikigami Konko Daiji, written by Dr. Murakami. Because, oboe or the memoir is kind of difficult to read because it's written in old Japanese. So it's quite difficult to read and understand. So I started to read, simultaneously started to read the book titled The Life of the Ikigami Konko Daijin, written by a professor of the Japanese religion and researcher of the Japanese religion and the history of the Japanese religion. So he's not a Konko member. He's a researcher, like a professor, and study about Konko, mainly from the memoir I just mentioned. So therefore, comparing those two books, I can easily understand the memoir, so that I read simultaneously. Then, according to Dr. Murakami, the Konko Daijin's memoir is a very valuable document in Japanese history of the religion. And through reading these books, although there might be other words or maybe a distinguishing feature to describe Konko Daijin, two words came to my mind. Maybe you might disagree, you might have a different way to describe Konko Daijin. But two words came to my mind, and one is omoiwake. Omoiwake, and the other one is jitsui teine. Through reading those two books, those two words came to my mind. So, omoiwake literally means, oh, sorry, upside down. Omoiwake literally means, omoi is to think, wake is to separate or distinguish. So, like a think separately. But more like a meaning, like a prudent and discretion. When bad things or misfortune occurs, people tend to focus on the negative part of the matters. We tend to just focus on only the negative parts. On the other hand, Konko Daijin found a positive part in all aspects. So, for example, when a Konko Daijin is still a farmer, his three sons got smallpox, and he held a special prayers and ritual called Shime Oroshi, inviting the priests specializing in those areas, and he held a special rituals. About one son died, unfortunately, but Konko Daiji still had to come and held a banquet in the celebration of the completion of the ritual, inviting the priests and the people in the village who held the ritual. And although one son died, two others were saved, so he still feels grateful. So think separately. Sad thing is sad thing, but there's a grateful thing that we have to appreciate for. So that the invited priest was so impressed. Wow, even all children were saved. No one expressed the sincere appreciation like him. So he was, the priest was so impressed. So Konko Daijin, time to time, he of course he encountered the misfortune, the difficulty, but he always find a positive portion in all aspects and appreciate for that. So that the Kami-sama time to time praise him. Wow, Konko Daijin, you always take things positively. So that's the one thing I found out, through the reading the Konko Daijin's biography, I found out that. And jitsui teine means like jitsui, like a sincere, faithful. Teine is like a courteous, thoughtful, those kind of things. Polite. Konko Daijin, he was a very sincere person. He worked very hard. But he not only worked hard for himself, but for the people of the village and people of the society and other people. And after he started to receive the divine message directly from Kami-sama, he followed exactly what Kami-sama said, without question. But not only he followed what Kami-sama said, but he never forget to consider for other people. For example, right after he started to receive the message from Kami-sama, Kami-sama ordered to do we call barefoot ascetic training. So barefoot, you have to be barefoot all the time. So Kami-sama ordered to do such training. And so after offering prayer in the morning, eating a breakfast, he go out with bare feet. But his wife was against it. Oh honey, you don't look good, if you walk barefoot, in such a cold weather. So his wife had a concern about it. But Konko doesn't have to follow Kami-sama's word. So what he did is he tied the straw sandal. Straw sandal is a regular shoes at the time. He tied the straw sandal to the holes and the stick to carry. So when the people ask, "Oh, why you are walking barefoot?" And he answered, "Oh, because my straw sandal, bite my toe and it's hard." So it's kind of white lie, but he followed what Kami-sama's order, but he still consider his wife's thoughts as well. And when he quit the farming, many people in the village opposed that. Of course, they opposed it, especially father-in-law. I understand father-in-law's feeling, because if my daughter's husband said, "Oh, I quit farming, I quit my job, I'm not going to work anymore," I'm going to be upset. So I understand the feeling of the father-in-law. Sorry, I missed the piece. Yeah, okay, now. So, but he have to follow what Kami-sama said. So what he did is he gave or the sold below market price his farmland, the rice field, to the father-in-law first. Then the other relatives. So he sold those land to the father-in-law. And his father-in-law's house started to run accommodation business eventually for the worshiper come from far place. So, I can see that Konko Daiji, although he tried to follow what Kami-sama said, but didn't forget to consider for other people. When he tried to take official license to be a minister or tried to build the worship hall, he followed the government rule. He was so jitsui teine toward government or social order, political order. He didn't ignore that. While some religion force believer to follow, even if it's against the law, it's have a conflict with the law, or cause trouble to others in society. But Konko-kyo, that's one thing I like about Konko-kyo is Konko-kyo do not make trouble in the society and other people while practicing faith. That's one thing I like about Konko-kyo. So anyway, this year marks 162 years since our founder Konko Daijin accepted the divine call. By the way, I attended 100-year anniversary grand service of the founder Gian Konko Daijin. So because I was born on the year of 100-year anniversary of the Konko Kyo, meaning 100 years after he accepted a divine call. So as a baby, I attended the service. You know, there's no such thing like a Shinkansen at the time, no break train. So you can go and come back on the same day. It's not like that. It's at that time you have to take, the night train, taking all night from Amagi to Konko. So I heard that my mother had a hard time taking a baby. Of course, I don't remember. Anyway, so it's 162 years. So you find out my age, right? So it's been 162 years. So, so we'd like to appreciate our founder. Founder accepted a divine call 162 years ago. Therefore, Konko Daijin paved the way. Therefore, we do not have to open the way or go on the bumpy road. There's a nice way, smooth way already there. We just have to follow. So we'd like to appreciate for that. Even calmly thank and praise Konko Daijin. So today, let us remind and praise the virtue of our founder, Ikigami Konko Daijin, and continue practice faith so that we can be one step closer to the founder's faith. And let us contribute to spread the way of Konko Daijin. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for attending. そして何か挨拶されますか？
本日はワイパフ教会の池上金光大臣大祭、皆さんと共に奉仕させてもらいましてありがとうございました。私も日本語で喋っていますが、こちらに来らせてもらいましたのが1980年1980の3月の8日でございます。マーチですからもう41年と半ぐらいですが、おかげさまでこのハワイで何とかこのようにお使いいただきました。この度、年のせいもありますけれども、そして私が来ました40年前は信者さん方もですね日本語をしゃべって、お互い日本語をしゃべりますし、私が日本語でしゃべればそれがみんな分かってもらっておりましたけど、だんだんそういう方も年を取られて、次々に、亡くなられるようなことで今こう見回してみますと、ほとんど私もその上の方はおられるような状態になってしまいます。ここまで日本語で、させてもらいましたが、最初はですね、私も英語を勉強しないかんと思ったんですけど、みんなが日本語で、言われますと、聞いてその気になって、とうとう英語をしゃべることができるようなことで今日まで行ってしまいますとですね。ですから、私も悪いんですが、信者さんたちも毎日寝たりかんですね。そういうことで、すみません、おかしいません、日本語で。今度こういうことで、一応、リタイアという、教会長の座を言うということに、お届け、本方様に許していただいて、で、あと次の教会長、 教会の教会長、お願いしてお礼申し上げます。3人次になりましたかどうか。タイミングのはい、ありがとうございました。
Usually after this, we go downstairs to have onorai lunch together. But due to COVID-19, to minimize the risk, we prepared the bento. The Gary Yabuki prepared a bento for us. You cooked it from the morning. Child must help. But anyway. So we're going to have a bento to distribute after this. And before that, let us recite the closing prayer and omiki. Thank you. Haire. Prayer book, page 15. Closing prayer. Dear divine parents of the universe, we are deeply grateful for the way of meditation and have had gratitude for divine blessings, material, spiritual, temporal, and eternal. We pray that the divine favor be granted to one and all, each and every day. Haire. Haire. Haire.